So this question asks us to determine if these various functions are even, odd, or neither. So let's remind ourselves of the rule. If a function is even, then f of negative x equals f of x, and it is symmetric with respect to the y-axis. So the y-axis acts as a mirror, and our standard version of that, of course, is the parabola y equals x squared, has the y-axis acting as a mirror. In the case of an odd function, f of negative x is the opposite of f of x. And the symmetry there is folded twice, folded over the x-axis, then folded over the y-axis. They match. And that is symmetric with respect to the origin. Then our standard function there, of course, is y equals x cubed. Again, you'll notice an even power on y equals x squared and an odd power on y equals x cubed. That's a way for us to remember that. Now, what's the first question that we're looking at here? We're looking at f of x is 3x squared plus 5. So we're going to replace x with negative x. What is f of negative x? That is 3 times negative x squared plus 5. Well, negative x times negative x is just positive x squared is 3x squared plus 5, which is f of x. If f of negative x equals f of x, that's going to be an even function. And we know that the y-axis should act as a mirror. So let me go ahead maybe and pull up Desmos this time, and we'll see if that's the case. So I'm going to take a look at y equals 3x squared plus 5. Do we see it symmetric with respect to the y-axis? And sure enough, the y-axis is acting as a mirror. That is an even function. Okay, our next question here is g of x is 4x cubed. We already have said that y equals x cubed is kind of our standard odd function. We're going to look at g of negative x, which is 4 times negative x cubed, which is 4 times negative x times negative x times negative x. Negative x times negative is positive x squared times negative x is negative x cubed times 4 is negative 4 x cubed, right? Negative times negative is still negative, which is the opposite of g of x, right? And that's our definition of an odd function. If the function of negative x is negative the function, g of negative x is negative g, the function is what? The function is odd. So if we go to look at the graph here, I should see fold it twice, the points should match up. So let's go back to Desmos to 4x cubed. So the exponent is what makes it odd, not the 4 in front of it. 4x cubed here, notice, fold it once, fold it twice, the points will match up, right? Take this thing, fold it over, it matches. It has a mirror image on the other side. Okay, our next question here is h of x equals 7. Well, what is that? That's trickier. H of x is 7. Well, h of negative x is also 7. So h of negative x equals h of x, therefore this should be even. Now we know if it's an even function, it should be symmetric with respect to the y-axis. The y-axis should act as a mirror. So we'll look and see, is the y-axis a mirror if I go with h of x equals 7? H of x equals 7. And sure enough, right, it's a horizontal line. So indeed, the y-axis is a mirror. We have a mirror image here at 2, the mirror image is at -2, etc. So that reinforces our notion that that is an even function, even though 7 is an odd number. Okay, what do we have next? We have k of x is 2x squared plus 7x plus 1. What are we going to say about that one? Well, we're going to look at k of negative x, which is 2 times negative x squared plus 7 times negative x plus 1. Negative x times negative x, positive x squared. So it's positive 2x squared. 7 times negative x is negative 7x plus 1. Well, is k of negative x the same as k of x? K of x is 2x squared plus 7x plus 1, so they're not the same. K of negative x is not the same as k of x, so it's not even. How about negative k of x, right? To check to see if it's odd, we look at negative k of x. That would be negative 2x squared minus 7x minus 1, and 2x squared plus 7x plus 1. So k of negative x, 2x squareds don't match, negative 7x does. The one's positive, one's negative, they don't match. So k of negative x is not the same as k of x. So this one is neither. So if we're going to look at a graph of 2x squared plus 7x plus 1, k of x here, 2x squared plus 7x plus 1. Certainly the y-axis is not a mirror. And if you fold it twice, they don't match up nicely either. The mirror is over here, is the axis of symmetry. But no, not even, not odd, neither even nor odd. Okay, and we have one more here, I believe. P of x is 5 over x. Let's look at that. P of x is 5 over x. We're going to look at P of negative x. What is P of negative x? That's 5 over negative x, which is the same as negative 5 over x, which is the same as negative P of x. Well, if P of negative x is negative P of x, this should be an odd function. And we should see then that it is going to be symmetric with respect to the origin, right? Which means if we fold it over twice, we should see it match. So let's see what we get for P of x equals 5 over x. Does it look symmetric with respect to the origin? Yeah, I think so. Fold it over once, fold it over again. They seem to match up nicely. Here's this point at 1, 5. At negative 1, it lands at negative 1, negative 5. So indeed, f of negative 1 is the opposite of f of 1. So that is an odd function. And that graph is symmetric with respect to the origin.